Hi guys, it's Emily from Novell Novels and welcome to today's video. This is my January wrap up part 1. Now, I am having a brilliant January month so far. I think pretty much I aced it at the start. The first week I read literally 5 stars a week. It was like literally incredible. So I have, when you see a vlog that's going to come up on Wednesday, you'll see that I picked the books for the rest of the month. Because normally I tend to go downhill in the second half of the month, as you well saw in December. It started the month amazingly and it just went. But I'm finishing the month with Jane Eyre, which was on my TBR. I'm going to start my Dorothy Comson book. I think I may start it on Monday because it's a thriller and I think probably best not to read over the weekend when I'm a bit more busy. But I've got some great books for the other second half. I'm thinking about reading this, seeing if I can find an audiobook, but I'll have to wait and see. But yeah, look at the vlog that's coming up on Friday, on Wednesday, and then you'll see what books I'm picking for the second half. But I'll let you know what I'm currently reading. So I've got to today, I'm filming this on the 15th, and I've got about 20 pages, 20 or 30 pages to read of Vanity Fair, which is a bit meh. It's a bit starting off. I'm not really grabbing it at the moment. Why is it the books I picked, I'm like, it's not the best, but it's all right. It's just, I'm still not feeling the classics again. What is going on with me? My classics are really struggling. Then I've read my weekly pages for Hilary Mantel's Wolf Hall. This is definitely setting it up. I think I'm getting more into it the more I read, but it isn't as gripping. It's not as fast to fly through. So I'm going to try. I think what I've got is I sort of set it out, my chapters. I think what I may do is I may read it all in one go. I may not, like normally I spread it out over the course, like read it a little bit every day over the course of the week. But entirely, I've got the first chapter. This chapter that I'm just going to be reading is about 70 to 80 pages. So I think I may just go in one big bulk on Monday and read it in one go on Monday. Because I think I may be able to get more out of it if I read this in bigger chunks. So rather than breaking it up daily, I think I may read it in big chunks and read like a chapter at a time and see if that makes this one easier to read. But I am enjoying it. I'm reading it for the Wolf Hall read along. I am enjoying it, and it's definitely the more I read, the more I enjoy. So that's it. Wasn't going to include this, but I started this last night. I only read about 20 pages last night, and it's a contemporary. It's on the books to be reading this week, and it's got about a bookshop, so that's why I picked it. When Anna takes over Longhampton's bookshop, her dreams come true, not just because it gets her away from her rowdy stepchildren and their hyperactive Dalmatian. And then she's got her friend that I just read about, her best friend Michelle, who categorically doesn't believe in true love and Hampton Princess. So, looking forward to reading a bit more of that today. And then, literally,
it fell out.
Oh, my darling son's just gone and told me that it's fallen out. And I thought I was nearer the end than this. So I think this is it. I think I've got about 70 or 80 pages of this to read. So I'm going to finish this off this afternoon, which is the non-fiction book, Dear Fatty. Not gripping me. No, it's all right, but it's not gripping me. Sorry. I'm not going to rate it because it's a memoir, but I'm going to read that this afternoon.
Now, what side is this?
Thomas is my little helper today. So he's going to stop. Hang on a second, 2 seconds before we do that. I am going to say I did finish my ebook of Cruel to Be Kind by Kathy Glass, which I didn't rate on Goodreads, but I rated on Storygraph, and I rated it 5 stars on Storygraph. So I think I may change it to 5 stars because I did love it. It was brilliant. Kathy Glass's books are amazing. So yeah, so that was my technically unrated, but I did rate it. My only 3-star of the month so far is this, which is Alphabet Weekends by Elizabeth Noble. I'm not going to be doing this fast, guys. I'm not really going to be, she's one of my contemporary authors that, I think every one of her books has been like 3 stars. They're just so contemporary. They're not the best at showing different things. They're not sort of varied and diverse. They're not diverse, that's the word I'm looking for. They're not diverse anywhere near enough for me. This one's tackling infidelity in a really bad way, and I don't like it. I found that really challenged me. And yes, the romance, the A is for Alphabet, Thomas. The Alphabet romance is kind of cute and predictable, and it's very much of a friends to lovers trope, but the infidelity bit let me down, so that's going bye-byes, but if anyone wants it, please let me know. The Vanishing Act of Esme Lennox is my first of my 4-star books, and this is the group book for the read-along. I really enjoyed it. It only got 4 stars because I struggled with the fact there is no chapter breaks, and I found that really challenging, and I found that the jumps in timelines are not easily explained. So that part was why it got 4 stars, but the writing is really good. It's a great book for the read-along. It sort of matched quite a lot of the prompts. I did really enjoy it, but it was just like the chapter breaks. That was the only thing that made it 4 or 5 stars. The writing is incredible. The storyline, the disappearance of Esme Lennox, what happened to her is incredible. The writing is amazing. Maggie O'Farrell never lets me down. She's a great writer. I need to pick up more of her books, and I really enjoyed this. But like I said, the chapter breaks let it down. But I think I'm going to lend this one to my sister Charlie. And it's a signed copy, which I didn't realise. So I'll show you. I'm lending this to my little sister. And I think this one's going to be keepy because it's a signed one.
The Dublin Girls.
The Dublin Girls is my next 4 stars. That was for a book set before I was born. It was set in the 1950s in Dublin. Very, very hard-hitting. There are quite a few triggers in this. So if you want to read it, please check with me first, because there are so many triggers in this, and I won't obviously go into them in detail now, but there are triggers in this. It's about a 19-year-old Nell Flynn who is training to be a nurse and planning to marry her boyfriend, and then her mother dies and leaves her to look after her younger sisters, and the younger sister gets quite poorly. That happens right at the start of the book, and she has to really change her life, and very hard-hitting. The sister bit is really well written. It's a really good book, but it is very hard-hitting, and I flew through it because the chapters are really short, and I flew through it really quickly, but it is very hard-hitting. So that's another one charity shop going, so if you let me know. This one is 4 stars, but it's a good 4 stars. I'm keeping it because it's part of a series, and that is Heidi Swain's Sunshine and Sweet Pea in the Nightingale Square. I did enjoy this book. I really, really enjoyed it. It's the first in 3 books in the series, I believe. I picked it up at the car boot last week. And it's about it's a lovely romance. It's about friendships. It's a 4 stars. It's probably not one of my favourite of Heidi Swain's books, but it does connect to her other Winhurst series, which I didn't realise, which I think is really lovely. I do love it when they connect books. Kate is on the run from her soon-to-be ex-husband, and she moves into a house in Nightingale Square in Norwich. What Kate doesn't count on is being pulled out of her perfect hiding place into a community that won't take no for an answer. That part I loved. I loved the community element of that. I loved the friendships in this. I loved the found family element. I thought that was really beautiful. I love the relationship between Kate and her brother that's written into this. It is a good book. Not the best, but I'm going to keep it, I think. Yeah, I think I'm going to keep that one. That's going to be a keepy, so I need to work out where that's going.
The other woman.
Now on to I've got 2 4.5-star books, both of which are amazing. Now, literally, all of these books are amazing. I'm not going to get you to pick a favourite one because they're all incredible today, and I'm struggling. I've actually got some, when I get to my 5 stars, there could be favourites for the year. So this is my thriller. The TBR jar did good. Thomas, put that down. All the joys today. Right, the other thriller women. The TBR jar did good today this month. It was a thriller. I wasn't expecting to love it. It was The Other Woman, and it's about the mother-in-law, and you think, oh, the mother-in-law is bad, and it's all it's a thriller, but it's not a scary thriller. It's more psychological. It's the feeling of what is this mother-woman doing to this her son's girlfriend, and it's very gripping, and it's like, I think I read it in a day. It's 4 stars. It's a 400-page book, and I read it in a day. That is how good this thriller is. I'm sending it to the lovely Alice from Alice and Her Giant Bookshelf because she's lovely. But this is pacey. I can't tell you too much because that would give clues away, but it's bloody good. TBR jar did good. Then the other book, which I think I'm going to keep this because I think it will be good to reread this. That's 4.5 stars, but that's The Giver of Stars by Jojo Moyes. I was given this as a gift last year, and it's a really, really good book. And it's about Alice Wright, who marries the handsome American Bennett Van Cleve hoping to escape the stifling life in England. Yet she doesn't much care for a domineering father-in-law or the judgmental townsfolk of Baileyville. It's about a travelling library, found families, friendships, community, and it's got a mystery element in it, which does make it exciting. So that is my other keepy book. It's 4.5 stars, and that was for a book that I really wanted to get to, I think. Can't remember.
And all the Green Gables.
So this is the first of the 5 stars. This is Anne of Green Gables, which I'm reading for the first book in the series for the Anne along. Thoroughly loved it. 5 stars all the way. Back to my childhood. I'm loving the Anne along group that we've got on Voxer chatting about the book. And if you want to carry on reading the series with us, let me know. Send me a message, DM me, because if you put a message in the comments, it will delete it. Let me know your Voxer name and we can join the Anne along. It's a brilliant read along. You can still join in this month if you want to and start with the series. This series is incredible. The group that I'm running on Voxer are talking about it in such lovely ways, and oh, I love it. I love talking to them about it. It's like going back to my childhood, and watching Anne grow even in this book is incredible. I love this book, love this series. It's fantastic. Then I reread. Then I started our Doris series by Charles Heathcote. I'm going to be rereading this whole series this year because I'm being asked to proofread his latest book, the last book in the series. This is Our Doris by Charles Heathcote. I'm lending this to my mum because I think she would love this book. This series is incredible. It's just a great series. Charlie is an incredible writer. He's one of us. He's a booktuber. His writing's incredible. It's like, this book will guarantee to make you laugh. Doris is a great character. Her husband Harold is amazing. This book sets up the series brilliantly, and it's one of the ones that I will always love.
Pictures of Lily.
Pictures of Lily by Paige Toon is Paige Toon's next book in the buddy read group that she's setting up, the group read-alongs she's setting up on all her books. Another one, it's a reread. It's actually, I thought it was one of my earlier books I've read of hers, but it's actually one of the more recent ones. And I loved it. It's the romance, it's about Lily, and you meet characters from other books that you've read before, and you meet characters that you're going to meet in other books in the future, which I love. I love this book. It was literally like coming home reading Paige Toon's books, and I will always love it. Although I will say February's book is the one I'm most excited about because I can't wait for that. But this one was incredible. It's a brilliant book about Lily, and starts off when she's 16. It's got dual timelines because you go back you start off with her in the present, and then you go back to when she is 10 years ago when she was just 16. And she meets someone, and romance and friendships, and it's brilliant. I love this book.
Saving Missy.
Saving Missy was my book for the female protagonist, older than me, and Thomas is getting shouted up. And I love this. This was given to me by the lovely Gemma from Read a Book Gem. Thomas, can you go downstairs and tell Daddy I'm filming? All the joy. Sorry about this, guys. And just to let you know that this is a brilliant book. It's about an older protagonist, Missy, who is in a late, I think she's 78 when they start this book. It's got diversity in it. It's got a brilliant, strong female in it. It's got about getting your life back when you get older. But it is incredible, and I thoroughly love this book. It was just, oh, I'm going to lend this to Mum as well because I know she will love this. Missy Carmichael is prickly, stubborn, and terribly lonely until a chance encounter in the park with two very different women opened the door to something new, something wonderful. Friendships, about getting your life back, no matter how old you are. I loved this book, and I will keep this. So when my mum's borrowed it, I think I'm going to keep this for a reread. It's so good. All of these books I'm going to keep. My poor mother's going to be like, what the hell? And I've got to find room on the shelves for the books I'm keeping. What am I like, eh? Next one is Hamlet by Maggie O'Farrell. This was my book one, I think it was for the, oh yes, recommended by someone older than me. It was recommended by Nikki from Red Dot Reads. This could easily go in my favourites for the year. It is absolutely beautiful. It's Maggie O'Farrell's most recent book. It won the Women's Prize for Fiction in 2020, and I can see why. It's probably my favourite out of all her books, to be honest. I think this is definitely my favourite of all her books. It's a beautiful book. My sister, this is about Hamlet, who was William Shakespeare's son, but William Shakespeare's not named in this, and it's more about Hamlet's. It starts off with Hamlet and it's Hamlet's tale, and then we go into his mother's story. And like I said, Shakespeare's not written his name, but it also tackles the plague. It tackles quite a few different things in this, and it talks about Hamlet's mother and William Shakespeare's wife and her story in this, and that's really brilliantly written. A bit of magic, a bit of sort of super. Oh, it's just brilliant. And it's about like Hamlet's sister, like twin sister, and Hamlet's. You see the whole family in it. You see them grow, and I love this book. I didn't expect to love it this much. I read it at the same time as I was reading another book, which is just, oh my god, this is incredible. I absolutely, thoroughly love this. Top book ever. It's absolutely incredible. Then penultimate book is Us Three by Ruth Jones. I thoroughly love this. I bloody read this with my lovely sister. We were going to read 50 pages a day, and do you know what? I think we read 100 pages for the first 3 days, and then I read 200 pages on the last day because I couldn't put it down. I read like 50 pages. I read in like about 15 to 20 minutes. I just couldn't put it down. This is about three friends who meet up, who meet when they're very little, and it tackles pretty much their whole life, like most of their lives until they're like in their late 40s, I think, 40s, 50s. And it's beautiful. It's an incredible book. All the friends are very different, but what holds them together, that friendship, their own journeys. I love the writing style of this. Like, you have 3 parts for the 3 different sort of eras they go on. So that's how you get the 3 different timelines, which are brilliant. And then you get chapters per character, and then you get some chapters with some extra characters, some extra male sub-characters that are written in, and it's woven together so beautifully. It's like a tapestry that's woven together in such a way that you literally thoroughly love it. You can't put the book down. The chapters are so short and sweet and not perfectly written. It's woven together incredibly. Oh my god, I just couldn't say, I can't tell you how much I love this book. It was incredible. The 3 friends are just so brilliant, like best friends Lana, Judith and Catherine. And they swear an oath on a curly-whirly wrapper that they'll always be there for each other. And they have some flipping obstacles, and each of them have so many different journeys. I cried so many times in this book. It was that emotional, and yet there were points where I laughed. And that was written in brilliantly. And the characters, all of the characters are incredible. Like, you love the sub-characters, you love the lead characters, you love their families, you grow to get to know them, and I always wish I could know more about them. I just think this is brilliant. I'm going to read her other book, I think it's Us Greener, was it? What's this? Never Greener. I picked that up in a charity shop, and Gemma's recommended that to me. So I'm going to read that one with my sister soon. She's going to pick it up. We're going to read it, I think, in March or April. And then she's got another book out that comes out at some point later this year, Love Untold. It's coming out in hardback. I'm buying it in hardback. I don't care about how much it costs. I'm going to buy it. This writing is incredible. I want her to write more books. Just keep writing because she's aced it. And then last but by no means least, this is a book that could easily be in my favourites of the year so far. I'm never gonna... this is Shaggy, Bane by Douglas Stewart. It was a book that I read because I thought it was like about a job that I wanted to read. I was supposed to be about a journalist, but I didn't see that in this book at all. But it is probably the most well-written book. One of the best books I've ever read, I think. It is the most hard-hitting book going, and I think that is why it helped to read it 50 pages a day with Ange and Amy. And we read it together, and oh my god, they review it so much better than me, so please check out their channels, check out them talking about this book, because they could describe it far better than I could. It is Ange's favourite book of all time, and I see why now. Shaggy's story is incredible. Like, you meet him as a young child, it tackles more issues than I can describe. Again, please let me know, because I think on my story graph I did put down all the triggers, because there is a lot of triggers in this. But to cut it sort of in the easiest description is Shaggy's mother is an alcoholic. That is told to you from the very start. And from the very start you meet his father, who is a bit of a git. I don't like his father at all. He's got 2 older siblings, Catherine and... I can't remember his name because I'm useless. Catherine and and I'll think of his name in a bit. And he's got an older brother, and why can I not remember his name? It's just so hard hitting. And then you've also got his grandparents. So you've got his brothers and you've got his grandparents, and I love his brother, which I don't know why I can't remember his name. I think blame it on the fact I've still got recovering from COVID. But the older brother I loved his older brother so much. I loved him a lot more than I loved his older sister. His grandparents are incredible, and their writing, their stories, it's amazing. And then you've got other characters, you've got goodies, you've got baddies. You can relate to so many different people. I think I related certain times to Agnes, his mother, At certain other times I related to his older brother because I'm the eldest in my family, and I could relate to that looking after your sibling bit, although I was lucky I had a lot better upbringing than obviously Shaggy. It's written in the 1980s, and it's tackling diversity. It's tackling the fact that Shaggy is different and he doesn't like being different. He wants to be normal. He feels himself being judged so madly, so it tackles that, and it tackles it in such a great way. The fact that this is very hard-hitting means you do need to go at a slow and steady pace. You need to break it up with a lighter book as well, because that's the only way you can probably handle it, unless you're stronger than me, which most people probably are. But to read it slow and steady, to absorb it, this is a book I will definitely reread because it's that beautifully written. But it is hard-hitting. I've put Young Mungo on which is the next book by the author, on my Amazon wish list. It comes out in April. Buying it in April, reading it in May with the girls, because we've just got to read it together. I just can't wait. I really can't wait. It's such an incredible book. So if you hadn't guessed, yes, my two favourites for the month are Shaggy, Bane and Us Three, because they are amazing. They are literally flipping incredible. Both books could not be more different and could not be more diverse, but they have just got it all. They've got the diversity, they've got the beautiful writing style, they've got the hard-hitting issues, they've got moments of comedy that break up the hard-hitting bits, and it's woven together. Both books are woven together brilliantly. Although if I'm being honest, all of those 5-star books could win. They all could be my favourites for the year. I've started off incredibly in January with some books that are just rocketing up on there on the top of the scale. What have been your favourites books of the month so far? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear. Sorry for the interruptions by everyone in the background. Trying to film on a Sunday, but it's halfway through the month, got to film. And I worked yesterday, so I couldn't film yesterday, and I'm working tomorrow, so I can't film tomorrow. I hope you guys are liking the vlogs that I'm putting up. They are very hard-hitting for me, and they're very challenging, but I'm enjoying them. And I look forward to seeing you all soon. Take care. Bye-bye.